Yeah, a lot of people going after me about this whole thing with Guyton.
Yeah.
But I went back and looked at my notes, and the first period of the day, we got swum for a sack, we got a holding call against us, and we got broken down by him again. So I had three straight plays where I know the practice, as it practice started, that Verse was able to get. I just saw a clip. I was not there for the one-on-one stuff. I was at the other end of the field on that one. But yeah, to me, like I said, I was expecting a lot more with that matchup. And early in that matchup, it wasn't good. And so,
yeah, I think the thing at tackle is you're not going to be judged for your greatest snaps. Awesome, you had a couple of pancakes. You're going to be judged by how often does it go bad, and it sounds like it went bad 3 times in a row.
Well, also if it started badly, Brian, but he ends up bouncing back, like maybe.
Yeah, I got to figure out. Like I said, I got to figure out why at the end of practice he wasn't out there, because then Bostic was running with the ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
they're not going to have a chance with that.
Yeah, they're not going to have a chance with that. But overall, though, the offense today, and I'll go back and study it, and when we talk tomorrow, I'm sure I'll have a better, even a clearer understanding of what goes on. I didn't feel like the offense moved the ball particularly well today. I didn't think anybody got open. I didn't feel like that they particularly protected well. I don't feel like they particularly ran the ball very well today. I thought overall, just it was a lot of flopping around and a lot of consistency to it. And so to me, that was kind of a disappointing day. Kind of felt like that maybe this offense, would find a way to, the last time they did have some success running the football. They obviously tried to do it today. They really couldn't do anything running the ball. The linebackers for the Rams were in good shape. Their corners stuff. Everybody, I thought it was a good day for them. If I was working, covering the Rams, I would say Rams had a good day on defense playing against the Dallas Cowboys. Because they didn't have guys that were getting open. They didn't have, when you watch the red zone period, and go back and watch, like at the post practice, we did training camp live. We did the one-on-one stuff, but we also did the red zone period.
Ooh, sweet.
Watch the red zone period and tell me if you think that anybody was really, really open or there was anything really good. The blitz pickup that Deuce Vaughn had actually was probably one of the better plays they had there down in the red zone. Other than that, Dak was running for his life trying to throw the football, So we filmed that whole practice down there and watching that, and I was surprised at how bad things were for the Cowboys. And like I said, initially, with Guyton, I mean, and hey, it's no shame getting beat by Verse, but he beat. They took Guyton out and they put 76 in there. They put Richards in there, and Richards got beat. So be careful with the clips, guys and gals.
Yeah, because the clips with Guyton are all good. Like the one-on-ones, Guyton's winning versus Verse. There was a clip of Deuce getting a chip on Verse. Guyton pancakes him. So just from the clips, it looks like Guyton had a good day.
Be careful with those clips, because to me, and I love the clips. I appreciate people post them and stuff like that, but they're running play after play after play after play. So if you want to say, well, that clip There are occasionally some good plays, but Dallas's offense did not have enough good plays today. That's from my vantage point of watching them and then being with them the whole entire time down in the red zone. I just felt like that they really didn't have any. Dallas will do some things scheme-wise and get guys open, and they just didn't handle the pressure up front very well down in the red zone. They just didn't. Dak was having to move. He had to try and force the ball one time. They didn't have the seam routes that they normally have. Rams did a good job of covering that up. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, though, what I was able to see, though, it was good to see Diggs back out there covering. That was something that I was glad to see him involved, because he's one of those, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to be that type of player again. If this, Dawson asked me about, is the defense going to be better? It's going to be better if you get Diggs and Bland and these safeties all playing pretty well in coverage. And they did a pretty good job of Diggs, his first extensive work with the defense. I mentioned him, running on the route, covering the route inside. That's one of my favorite things when you start to talk about evaluating cornerbacks. Hey, can a guy carry a route inside? Can he cut a guy off from going inside? Absolutely. That was good. And then also the ball going up the field. Diggs, one time they kind of tried to stutter go him a little bit. He was able to adjust and then burst and then carry the route up the field. Later in the practice, he had an interception as well. Ball was thrown short. He went up high pointed, so good for him. I mentioned the whole thing with how Micah Parsons. They didn't have an answer for Micah Parsons on that side of the ball today. They just, the Rams really didn't. It didn't matter if it was play away or play at. He was going to make that. He was making plays. They tried to run the ball at him a couple of different times. He just discarded his blocker and then was able to make the play right at the point of attack there. So that was pretty good right there. So, if you're talking about the defensive guys, Nealon, I think Nealon, people are asking me, hey, Nealon, Golston, right in. Give me Nealon. I think with Nealon, they're going to continue to work with him. He's going to be a good pass rusher. But the fact that he plays the run the way he does, I think is something that this team really can benefit from, and maybe play the run better than what they would have had with Sam Williams in there playing the run. So those are some of the things that I was really kind of looking at today.
That's good, and that's big time. I mean, you want those edge setters. I feel like you can manufacture pressure, especially a guy like Mike Zimmer will find ways to pressure the quarterback. But I do wonder, what have you noticed about the Micah usage and where they're sort of aligning him?
There was both. The majority of the times they were playing him as on the edge. There were only a couple of reps where he came through the middle. One of the blitzes that actually Zimmer today on his blitz package was safety blitz so there were a couple different times where Wilson was coming on the safety blitz, and then one time he ran Micah through the B gap on a blitz, and that got home as well. So you're right, he can create ways of doing it, whether he takes it through the middle of the defense or takes it there off the edge. But the edge pressure today was more with the safety blitz, and then Micah rush was on the outside, but then when they played him at linebacker, then it was that he was standing up in that kind of that A-B gap and then just went straight through the B gap. And they tried to the little running back for the Rams from the University of Michigan.
Oh, Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. Corum tried to pick him up, and that was no match right there.
Yeah, that's an unfair one. But I do think, that might be a talking point, is the lack of being able to just generate pressure
with
rushing four. Because outside of Micah, Tank at times can get there, sure, but I don't think you've got anybody else that you really that you're feeling good about right now. You're probably going to be sending blitz packages with Kendricks and your safeties. Malik Hooker is not a guy we've talked about a lot, Brian. It seems like Malik Hooker is penciled in. That's your starting free safety, and then there's going to be a rotation next to him.
Yeah, Wilson was getting the primary work today, and we'll see what happens with Bell and others. If I could update on the medical stuff, if I could. Yeah, the thing that Overshown's dealing with was a hip bruise. That's from the games. That was something that slowed him down today. 60 was on a rep count, and so that means that Guyton, because he has not practiced for full days, so they had him on rep count today. So that's why he was not in there working at the end. And then you had the rotation of guys that really weren't getting the job done.
Well, that's overall good news, isn't it? You just get a hit pointer for Overshown, and Guyton's just kind of working his way back in. That was some anxious moments when you joined us at the top of the hour. Pretty good resolutions to it.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry about that. There was a lot going on when I was trying to talk, and also I was getting these text messages about, this is going on here and there. So hopefully I got that all squared away for everybody.
But you just want to reiterate that you're dunking all over the fans that think Guyton had a good day out there?
I'm just saying that, to me, I sat here and watched that practice, and I think that if you watch the early part of that practice, you would have some concerns. But offensive linemen, grade them for 65 plays. Don't just grade them for 5. But I'm just saying, though, there was some things early in that practice that when I was watching that portion and having to move over to the other field and stuff like that, I kind of felt like there was some concerns there. I'll catch the tape tonight, and we'll reevaluate it in the morning.
What do you think they're hoping to get out of Cole Cabral, who they've brought in there? Is that just a swing tackle, a camp body for depth?
Man, they're having depth problems right now. That's the biggest issue that they're struggling with. I think they're trying to avoid not to play Awesome Richards at tackle. I think that's what they're trying to avoid. I think they feel like that Awesome Richards is a better inside player. So I could see them trying to say, okay, let's look at the offensive tackles here and try and figure that out. But yeah, unfortunate they lost Bostic today. I don't know how severe that is. I'll follow back up with that. But they need some bodies out there at tackle.